Now you find out it's the same. They're treating Muslim women the same. It's, hey, we're basically going to turn you into our hotel wives, our prostitutes, and we're not going to pay you. We're just, if you ever cross us, we will shame you and we will embarrass you, and you will have the reputation of a woman who is basically on the level of a prostitute, and you don't want that in the Muslim community. And so you're going to keep your mouth shut. So they keep their mouths shut that way. But now they have this as well. Now they have this as well. We'll actually fabricate evidence and discredit you and convince everyone you're a liar, even though we're the ones who are lying. Very, very sick stuff.
I even said to her, let's do a video, I will interview you. Go public.
You've probably seen or at least heard about Ali Dawah's pathetic attempt to defend his buddy Mohammed Hijab from serious accusations of abuse and misconduct leveled by a woman alias Aisha. His primary argument is twofold. You can't trust the testimony of a woman, repeatedly mocking the idea that the accuser's testimony has any value, and you should keep such matters private, citing the example of the Prophet of Islam.
Look, if you come and say to me, Ali, you are lying. Brother, I'm not lying. Her testimony is her evidence. Following the Sunnah prophetic tradition is what? A man, Sahaba, comes with a major sin. The Prophet ﷺ moves away 4 times. Nope, we didn't know. The Prophet ﷺ is ignoring him to avoid the capital punishment.
But what you probably don't know is that 9 months ago, he was singing a very different tune, both in general and even about the specific woman in question.
Okay, so you're saying right now he's going with, oh, is she going to say this and she need to be bringing forth her 4 witnesses as Islam requires and all this and because all these requirements, otherwise she should shut up. Yeah, no one should believe her because she don't meet the requirements. You're saying if you go back before all this was being used to target Mohammed Hijab, it would be, oh yeah, you need to come forward and share your story, sister. Something like that. Huh.
Yep.
Flip-flopping, eh? Flip-flop Dawa. Ali Dawah's new nickname can be Flip-flop.
Listen closely to what he said at the time.
And a sister came to me 3-4 months ago where she was married to somebody and
Mohammed
he married her, and then after that, he just chucked her away. Like this.
Hang on, is they talking about that?
Yep, that's what he's talking about.
Huh.
So he actually doesn't know it's hijab at this time.
So at this point, he had heard the story, but she's not giving any names. She talked about, at first she wasn't trying to give any names, but she wanted to bring up the issue. And so she's talking to him, hey, I have this problem with a guy in the Dawa community who made an agreement with me to get married, but then everything he agreed to do, he didn't do, and he just said he wants me to be his hotel prostitute. So I have a problem with that. And then he's like, oh yeah, you got to come forward with that, blah, 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 blah. Until he finds out that it's his buddy, and then how dare you? How dare you? You got to have your 4 witnesses. Lovely, lovely religion, guys.
Spoke to me. I spoke to him in person. You know what I said to her? I said, go expose him. She didn't tell me who it was. I said, I don't care who it is. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Go expose him. Go expose him.
Whoa, so go expose him. That is different. That is totally different. Guys, this video just came out today. So this is Ali Dawah from some point prior to him knowing that it was Mohammed Hijab, and she's just raising an accusation. This is how he treated me. And Ali Dawah's response is, yeah, go expose him. Expose that. Expose him. You got to expose him. You can't allow this to go in the community. You can't allow this to pervert the entire Dawa community. You have to expose this guy. Oh, it's Hijab. Where are your 4 witnesses then, you dirty liar?
Why? Did I say, no, sister, don't tell anybody. Shh. No. Did he do that to you? Yes, I've heard your side. I don't know who he is. I can't even ask for his side. If he did that to you truly, and he's made you feel like this, go public. Not only that, I even said to her, let's do a video.
She should be saying she should be shouting from the rooftops, I didn't want to go public. He told me to go public. I didn't want to go public. I tried to do this behind the scenes. I was like, hey, can we deal with this behind the scenes? He was like, no, you go public. And so fine, I go public. And then it's, how dare you go public? Oh, wow.
I will interview you. Go public. Why? Is my loyalty with Dawa? Dawa guys? I don't give a damn, man. I don't care who you are. My loyalty is Allah and His Messenger.
Does this sound like a story?
Hang on. He's saying he doesn't care who it is. His loyalty is only to Allah and His Messenger. But he clearly showed it does matter, and his loyalty is Mohammed Hijab. That means that Mohammed Hijab is either, in Ali Dawah's mind, Allah or His Messenger. Ali Dawah just worshipped Mohammed Hijab, everyone.
You already know. If you've been following the Aisha and Mohammed Hijab case, it certainly does. The details are right. The timing is right. This has to be the same woman.
In our final interaction, he was like, look, that arrangement of meeting in hotels is what I was looking for. And I thought you are the best suitor for that kind of marriage. It is halal. And that's the only arrangement that works for me. And I'm really sorry, but that's all what I wanted. He called it sex marriage. He called it a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And all of these things were mentioned after he got married to me.
This story was told as part of a broader video advising Muslim women to hold da'is accountable for any inappropriate behavior they observe and to go public if it persists. It seems that for Ali Dawah back then, a woman's testimony was all the evidence she needed.
Her testimony is her evidence.
He even notes he has been giving the same advice and warning Muslimas about the dangers of making private contact with the Dawa boys for years, pointing to a video he did back in 2016 with the same advice. Why? He explains the Dawa community has a really bad reputation.
Us Dawa guys, we're really evil. Manipulative, narcissistic, gaslighting. We're just innately evil.
This is weird because I just posted a video yesterday and I used the clip of him saying that the scientific miracles argument got debunked. He said it a bunch of times and I used that. And I said, I've never said this before. I'll probably never say it again, but listen to Ali Dawah. Listen to Ali Dawah. And I thought there's no other scenario where I would possibly say, listen to Ali Dawah, right? Other than him acknowledging the scientific miracles argument was debunked. It was a bunch of lies. It was a bunch of nonsense that Dawa clowns made up. And I said, I can't, there's no scenario where I'm going to say this again. Listen to Ali Dawah. And yet I've been refuted. Because there is another situation where I will say, listen to Ali Dawah. Please, everyone, listen to Ali Dawah. Let me back this up. Here's another situation where we should listen to Ali Dawah.
Us Dawa guys, we're really evil. Manipulative, narcissistic, gaslighting.
Yeah.
We're just innately evil. We prey on those that are vulnerable, especially our Muslim sisters.
And for good reason.
So he is not being sarcastic.
Listen to Ali Dawah, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to Ali Dawah. The man spoke the truth right there for the second time.
Yeah, he's not being sarcastic. He's not agreeing with it either, but he's saying this is the reputation our community has. That the Dawa boys behind the scenes, this is what people say about us.
And it is. You've seen this stuff before. I mean, we've got all this stuff with hijab and hijab. I mean, a matter of fact, after this, I'll just go ahead and play the little clip from Mohammed Hijab where he's talking about how this is normal in the Dawa community. These guys marrying, having polygamous marriages behind the scenes and stuff like that. We've seen him defending the secret second wives, all that stuff. But we're familiar with all that stuff, but we've covered like Central Dawa and so on, like where they're arguing in a meeting about how they're using Islam and so on, and then they'll bring it up. Well, why are you sending, we'll say penis pictures. They call it something else, but sending penis pictures to Muslim women and so on. They're like, but you do it too. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not saying this. And so, but it's like standard for them. It's just like normal behavior and they're all blasting each other for it. And it's like, well, it's okay for me because I'm not saying that I'm this, but you are saying that you're that. Well, it's okay for me. How dare you criticize me because you do it too? Like disgustingly dysfunctional. And here you see Ali Dawah acknowledging the reputation these Dawa guys have earned over the years with their terrible behavior. These are the guys who we're supposed to listen to on matters of religion. These are the guys who are here to civilize us with their powerful message. So Aisha is Muhammad's ex-wife, not a normal wife. She had apparently agreed to be a secret second wife. Mohammed Hijab has defended the concept of secret second wives. But let's go ahead and read through this. So this is from Behind Veils, and they gave her answers to some of the objections that are popping up. And guys, I'll just read, and you guys have any thoughts on it, jump in with any thoughts you have, and then we'll go on to the next. But it's not a lot. I think it's just a few of the main issues. So we'll just go and read these, just so we know what we're talking about in these as we're watching these videos. Sister Aisha answers common questions. Why did I come out publicly? So that would be a main one. Why don't you just keep this to yourself, or why don't you keep this behind the scenes or something like this? And she says, there were both moral and spiritual reasons. Morally, I believe if I had spoken earlier, many harmful McDonald's marriages could have been prevented. He has been misrepresenting. A little side note: who wants to tell everyone what the McDonald's marriages were?
Is that the 60-second McDonald's marriages?
Yeah, what's going on with that? Because Hatun, it's like people in the West do not have no concept of this. Like marriage is like a big step, and like we sit here and think like how it's sad that people's view of marriage has diminished over the years to not take it as seriously, but anyone in the West takes it massively more seriously than these guys. Like even with atheists take marriage significantly more serious than these guys do. How's this work in Islam?
So man and woman are meeting for chit chat, and then suddenly they decide they've got this love at the first sight thing, and then they need to deal with it because it's like so urgent, and then they need to get in touch with someone who can do their nikah. And then before the nikah, you need someone to pay the woman, as well as you need someone who is the guardian of the woman. So once those things are being arranged, it can be through WhatsApp message, marriage takes place. So that's how it works. But in reality, man and woman, Muslim man and Muslim woman, have very lustful desires towards one another. And they don't want to do anything which seems as haram. So they want to do under the label of halal, which means like it's permissible in Islam. So I'm going to get married with you for a short time. And your mahar, the money I'm going to give you for the marriage, is going to be McDonald's dinner or whatever people eat in McDonald's. Those kind of things. So
Happy meal.
They get in touch with Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab is so busy. Within a minute, he marries them off on WhatsApp, and then man gets the McDonald's dinner or lunch to lady, and then they go and then have sex, and then once it's done, okay, I divorce you, move on.
And so everyone, that's what's going on when she's talking about these McDonald's marriages. You actually have Mohammed Hijab talking about these little marriages that he's performing behind the scenes. And so, someone can, it's basically as Hatun was talking about, and this is the idea in Islam. It's, hey, I want to have sex with this woman, but I don't want to do something haram, so we'll just get married, even though I know I'm going to divorce her, right after we're done. And you're supposed to give her something. And so what? Well, just to buy her a Happy Meal at McDonald's. Buy her a Happy Meal at McDonald's, and then marry her, have sex with her, and divorce her. And so, this is like, it's like prostitution, but you're giving her a Happy Meal. Saying, here's a Happy Meal. So anyway, that's what Aisha is referring to here. She knows that this has been, she knows that this happens, and that Mohammed Hijab is performing these McDonald's marriages. And she says, I have to tell people what's going on so they know that we're actually doing this stuff and that he's actually doing it. And by speaking out, I can actually help prevent some stuff. Go ahead.
So it's such a strange, because as I am talking about it, you are talking about it, I can feel like your voice is a little bit uncomfortable. Yet Mohammed Hijab thinks this is something he needs to be proud of it. And then he's got a video on his Facebook page. He's simply making fun of it and then telling people this is what's happening.
Yeah, he was laughing about it while talking about doing these McDonald's marriages.
It's like sick.
Yeah, very, very sick stuff. And so Aisha here apparently thinks that this is un-Islamic, even though, Muhammad was allowing his followers to practice straight up Mutah, Like just, hey, go hire a prostitute and marry her for 20 minutes while you have sex with her and so on. And then you're divorced right afterwards. But according to Sunni sources, some of the hadith say that Muhammad eventually forbade it. So he eventually said, don't do this anymore. Other hadiths say that, no, it wasn't Muhammad who forbade the practice. It was a later Muslim caliph and so on. So it's basically, if you want to practice Mutah, you can just say, oh, I believe this hadith and not those other hadiths. But typically they won't call it Mutah marriage, temporary marriage. They'll just do it anyway. So they won't set it up beforehand as a Mutah marriage. So they won't say, hey, I'm only going to marry you for 20 minutes. That would be Mutah. They'll just marry some girl, understanding that they're just going to divorce them when they're through with them. And they'll call this misyar marriage. The misyar is saying things like, you're going to be a secret second wife, so you're not going to be a public wife. You're just going to be my hotel wife. You don't have all the normal rights and privileges, that kind of thing. So she says, why did I speak to people who are enemies of Islam? Hey, yeah, Thaddeus, you were one of two people who messaged me on the same day and say, hey, did she message you a while back? And I was not familiar with that at all, but two separate people messaged me on the same day. So I was like, oh, someone must have said something about this. But I had no clue what it was talking about. And I forget if it was you or the other person who messaged me, but shared links to where she had apparently messaged me on Twitter. And I didn't see it because, I get hundreds of messages on Twitter every day. So I never saw it. And if I had seen it, if I had seen, hey, I need your help. I have information on Mohammed Hijab and I'm a Muslim and I want you to help me expose him. I would not have taken that seriously. I would have been like, this is one of the Dawa guys trying to set me up. They've got some scheme here. I would not have trusted that sort of thing. So I wouldn't have paid attention to it even if I had seen it. But in fact, I just never had seen it. But Thaddeus, what was this about? And then we'll read her response.
Yeah, so she tweeted at you and at Abdullah Samir. Those are the only two individuals that she publicly tweeted at. She might have tried to contact someone else privately. I don't know. But as far as publicly, those are the only two. Just a variety of messages. Like some of them just said, I want to talk to you. I have some information about Islam that you'll find useful. Which could have been anything, right? That could have been trying to do Dawa. But then some other one, she did say that she was a victim of sexual abuse and she was desperately looking for help, that she was losing her faith in Islam and was reaching out in desperation. I imagine neither of you ever saw either of those messages. Obviously, you just said that you didn't. But because she had made those tweets in Ali Dawah's video, defending hijab, she's like, look, she's working with the enemies of Islam. And of course, she wasn't working with anyone. She tried to contact, her words, 100 Muslim scholars to get them to intervene, and none of them would. So in desperation, she tried to reach out to people who weren't Muslims. Seems reasonable to me.
So she tried to deal with this behind the scenes, and when she couldn't get any help from the Muslim community, she couldn't get any support, any help in exposing Mohammed Hijab from the sheikhs and so on, and they all take his side, then she decides, okay, everyone in Islam is willing to cover for Mohammed Hijab, so I need to go outside of Islam if I want to help expose this. So let me find some people who don't like Mohammed Hijab. And since she did that, since she contacted people outside of Islam, she is being attacked. She cannot be a serious Muslim because she's contacting the Islamophobes. And so let's go ahead and see her response here. She says, why did I speak to people who are enemies of Islam? So that means David Wood and Abdullah Samir. At that time, I was broken. I felt violated. I felt cheated. I felt used. After over a year and a half of seeking help. So she tried for a year and a half to get Muslim leaders to help her. I felt every door shut in my face. I was overwhelmed and needed to scream the truth. For me, accountability was the only way to hold on to my faith. So she's saying, I can't even hold on to my faith knowing that the entire community is siding with this guy and he can't be called out. So I have to do what I have to do. She said, I called them shaitan, and since then I had a tremendous amount of regret for ever reaching out to them. I have since repented to Allah. I advise every Muslim to stay away from such paths, no matter how desperate things may feel. So So even if every door in the Ummah is slammed in your face and everyone agrees we will protect the abusers and not the victims, even under such circumstances, do not go to people like David Wood and Abdullah Samir. And Aisha, I would agree with you that from an Islamic perspective, yep, you should not be going with us. However, that is merely more evidence that shows you how massively dysfunctional your religion is. So here she's answering that. Did I agree to secrecy? Meaning, did she agree to be a secret second wife? Did she agree to keep their relationship a secret? She says, the only form of secrecy I accepted. So this would have been before they got married. This would have been, hey, if you're going to be my wife, we're going to keep this some level of a secret. And so what did she actually agree to? Guys, so that's important. If you're going to be a misyar wife, if you're renouncing some of your rights as a wife, you're supposed to agree on that beforehand, not have a guy tell you about this later, even though Muhammad did. But let's see. The only form of secrecy I accepted was not informing his other family, as that is what he demanded of me. So Mohammed Hijab said, hey, I have my family, I have my wife, and you have to keep your mouth shut or my wife will find out about it, and that will get me in trouble. He had promised a marital home, a shared life, and family involvement. What he asked for after the marriage was completely different and not what we originally discussed. So this is her claim. This is one of the big disputes. She's saying she agreed to be a secret second wife, but even though he's saying, hey, you have to keep this secret from my family, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to have a home. I'm going to spend time with you. We are going to share lives together. I am going to be involved with your family. So that's what he agreed to beforehand. Then after they get married, and he has sex with her in the hotel, she says what he asked for after the marriage is completely different and not what we originally discussed. So after the marriage, it's I'm not going to provide a home. I'm not going to have a shared life. I'm not going to be involved with your family. We're not going to have kids. I'm only going to have sex with you in a hotel, and I'm not going to provide anything for you. That's what upset her. Go ahead.
Before she was about to become another wife. After the nikah, she become misyar wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's asked. There were communications where she was talking about like, oh, she will be like second or third because Mohammed Hijab apparently had another second wives before. As long as you don't tell my wife, everything will be okay. Because previous his ex-wife. Second wife told his wife, and then there was lots of tension. So he wants to not go through that again. Therefore, keep it secret from my wife, my first wife.
And let's see, as far as discretion, did I agree to discretion? Yes, but only regarding the number of nights we would spend together in our home. I did not agree to being hidden, erased, or treated like a secret. So just separate from his other family, but nothing beyond that. So apparently the only thing that she was agreeing to was secret from your family. And that's going to involve the number of nights they could spend together and things like that. He's like, oh, I have to be home, but I'll tell her I'm at the mosque 2 nights a week and I'll come and bang you. Anyway. All right. Lovely religion. Lovely. Guys, keep in mind, this is not a random guy. This is Mohammed Hijab, and this is the guy who these guys do shows on this. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? A bunch of these guys are doing this stuff behind the scenes. Mohammed Hijab even said in his video with a little video with Daniel Hakikichu, maybe we'll check it out since it's short, but he's sitting there. He was saying that he estimates about 85% of the Dawa guys are doing, polygamous marriages and so on. So this stuff is pretty common here. Was this a divorce? This was a kula, and it happened under very complex circumstances. The Islamic ruling on it was not immediately clear, which is why I involved the council for proper clarification and resolution. What about my father? My father gave his permission for the marriage. He later changed his mind, but by then it was already too late. I was excited to share the news, and Hijab told me to lie and say we didn't go ahead with it. So then he had her lying to her own father. And what about the dua? My recording was cropped, just like the audio of Brother Abu Aya. It came from a nearly hour-long conversation where I laid out every option. I was angry, emotional, and so what? Thaddeus, do you know what this is about? Is this about the audio clip that they used?
Yeah. So both in the not hijab, right? Because he pretended he didn't do it and put it on a third-party channel that he just created, and in Ali Dawah's video, they both play a short clip of her cursing Mohammed Hijab and cursing his children, and that's what she's talking about here. She's saying that it was a long conversation. She was upset. She was kind of coaxed into saying that by the person questioning her, and she regrets it. She wishes she hadn't said that. But here's the thing. I don't even think it's really all that improper, Islamically speaking, because to curse an individual, well, let's put it this way. The Prophet Muhammad, when he did Mubahala, he put his whole family under the curse. So to curse the family isn't really that unusual in this kind of thing, in Islam anyway.
Okay, so this is them using a clip of her just being enraged and calling down a curse on Hijab's family or something like that. She says, I was angry, emotional, and thinking of my child and others affected by this twisted image of Islam. I regret my words, but no one should be eternally judged by a moment of intense anger. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, Hijab will sit there and post, hey, can I fuck on your wife's tit? Can I fuck on your wife's tit? And then he'll just say, oh, hey, I was just, I was on some medication, and so, don't hold that against me. And they'll go, oh, okay, all is forgiven. But they'll get this woman who's enraged in the moment, and they'll say, you see, this is why you can never trust her again. She's a complete liar. Wild stuff. She says, I regret my words, but no one should be eternally judged by a moment of intense anger. If Hijab's outbursts were clipped like mine, no one would appear more unstable than him. That's true. What about the comments on Palestine and so on? What about comments on Palestine? What was the Mubahala really about? It wasn't blah, 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 blah. He refuses to deny the marriage and instead attacks my character. Mubahala is a right given to the oppressed, even when no direct evidence exists. Why are my emotions so intense? Was I pursuing him in those messages? Oh, okay, so yeah, they showed messages that made it sound like she was coming after him, and they represented her as a stalker. Can't trust her. She's just a crazy stalker. And she responds to that. Was I pursuing him in those messages? No. He made the first move in 2019, so 6 years ago. So this is a long time ago. The messages they shared came after a call. I retracted what I said, acknowledging I was speaking emotionally. Ali trying to paint me as mentally unstable was beyond what I expected. If I'm a liar, show proof, but there is none, only deflection. Okay, here we go. What is your main case against Mohammed Hijab? I aim to prove he is unworthy of trust. Yeah, you'd think so. And I don't know why it would take this. I mean, we've seen this guy defending lying for years. You can lie in this case, and you can lie there, and here's a good place to lie, and I lie, and I lie, and I lie. And everyone who's interacted with him is like, this guy's a complete liar. And yet, they just mindlessly trust him. And so she's pointing out, look, this is how he treats a woman. So he's completely, he demonstrated in his marriage that he's completely unworthy of trust because he lied to me, said this is how he's going to treat me, and then that's the opposite of how he treated me. And then when I try to bring it forward, he lies about me and tries to discredit me. So this is not someone anyone should be trusting. He's in it for himself. He's a narcissist. So she says, I aim to prove he is unworthy of trust. Here's why. Fabricated screenshots to mislead. Blackmailed the sheikh involved in our case. So apparently there's the sheikh that handled this situation, and this sheikh was blackmailed. Mocked marriage. Go ahead.
According to Behind Veils, the sheikh that performed the nikah was originally going to come forward. And after he talked to them, Mohammed Hijab found out and confronted him, and he ended up in the hospital. They said because of stress, but if you're going to the hospital because of stress, he did put some pretty severe threats in place, I would say.
Wild stuff. Let's see. Mocked marriage with the McDonald's nikah. Yeah, he did that. Distorted rulings by ignoring Maqasid al-Sharia. Not sure what Maqasid? No.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that refers to. But I mean, basically her point is that he convinced her that everything he did was Islamically valid, and she's now saying that's not the case.
publicly spread these views still online. No scholars corrected him. Corrupted youth with twisted teachings. WhatsApp confessions confirmed by, is that the sheikh? I think that's the sheikh.
Yes.
Yeah. Refused mubahala, manipulated conversations with Abu Aya. Yeah, he did that. We've seen that. He made him sound like Abu Aya was threatening him and trying to corner him when actually, when we listened to the entire thing, this guy was trying to help him and be reasonable in like every single way. And then objectified women in marriage-related talks. Yeah, definitely did that. We've seen that before. And so, yeah, she sounds like she's saying, hey, he's just, he's corrupt. He's basically corrupting the youth, and he's basically the Andrew Tate of Islam, even though Andrew Tate is officially the Andrew Tate of Islam. But giving people a really, really messed up view of women and giving women no way out of this situation. So these guys, the Dawa guys, want to turn Muslim women into their basically prostitutes that they pass around and so on. And they want no accountability. And women are having a problem with this. Well, guess what, lady? That's Islam. So get out of the... It's so simple. If your religion teaches guys that this is how they're supposed to act, get out of the religion. Let's see. These aren't isolated. There's a pattern. I came forward out of obligation to protect the deen and preserve my Aqidah. Silence in the face of corruption is complicity. Silence in the face of corruption is complicity. Good point. Aisha, I just want to point out what's going on. The big picture of what's going on, Aisha, is that you were created in the image of God. And the world and its systems are here to degrade you. The teachings of the demonic world are here to degrade you as the image of God. And Islam is one massive system for degrading the image of God. And that's what it's here for. And you are experiencing that. And that should tell you. Yeah, every reason you're objecting is not really for the good of Islam. Islam is what puts you in this situation. You are somehow aware of the fact that you should not be treated like this and you should not be degraded in this way. Why? Why do you know that? You're not getting that from your religion. You just somehow know that you are made for something better than all of this. And somehow you're rushing to Islam and trying to defend Islam in all of this. Bad idea, bad idea. The entire system is here to degrade you. And keep in mind, guys, these are the good guys and we're the bad guys for exposing this stuff.
Most of the big names of Dawa have at least done polygamy once. The du'at, I would say it's about 85%.
85%.
The women who take it the best are the revert sisters.
The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. Mm-hmm. The women who take it the best are revert sisters. If you want to know, as a Dawa guy, who's going to take this, who's going to take it best, it's the revert sisters. Why? Why is that? Because we focus on getting messed up women from messed up backgrounds with bad relationships with their fathers and stuff. We focus on getting them.
Then reaches 50%.
Well, not only that.
In the UK, what percentage
of... Oh, what was that? Sorry.
I said not only that, a convert is often extremely lonely, isolated from their family, don't have a Muslim friends and family to go to, so they are extremely, extremely vulnerable. And here's Hijab saying, yeah, they're very vulnerable, go after it.
Mm-hmm. And these revert women, as he puts it out, were typically converted by these Dawa guys. So, oh my goodness, he's so smart. Everything the Dawa guys are saying to you is a lie, but they dupe you into converting, and they're like, oh, I'm so grateful. Then what can I do? Well, you can be my, third or fourth wife, because you'll take it best.
Imams and shuyukh and du'at have a second wife. What percentage would you say?
That's very difficult to know, but it's a difficult one. It depends on what kind of community as well. Like the Asians here, they're not really into it that much. The Pakistanis but the reverts are into it. Like black people are into it here. Not all blacks. Somali uncles are into it. Like a lot of Somalis with it. You'll find like Somalis have a lot. Arabs are into it. North Africans do it. So it depends on, I think a lot of it is to do with like community based demographics and how the woman will take it.
It's about how the woman will take it.
The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. From my experience of...
Look at what he says, and then watch him start smiling, guys. Watch him start smiling. He says, the women who take it the best, in my experience, are the revert sisters. And then he says, my experience of observing, but watch him start smiling. Watch him start smiling. Meaning, I'm pretending that this is just by observation and not by me doing it. Watch
my
watch his face.
Experience of observing the situation.
You see that?
It's so, yani,
guys, what was that? That was him just, my experience of observing, and then he instantly starts laughing, and so does Daniel Hakikachu. They know he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's saying. Hang on.
So it depends on, I think a lot of it is to do with like community-based demographics and how the woman will take it. The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. From my experience of observing the situation, it's so, yani, every community has their thing, and I think the Pakistanis are the least likely to do it. Like the older generation Pakistanis and Bengalis and stuff, they're least likely to do it. I haven't really seen that many, but now the Salafis are doing it. Salaf Pakistanis are doing it. Salaf Pakistanis are doing it. It's more possible in the Salafi communities, I think, than the Deobandi communities and the...
Would you say it's like half? Is it 50% or more?
Who?
Of all shuyukh, imams and du'at?
Much less than that.
Much less.
The du'at, I would say it's about 85%.
So guys, he's drawing attention to different communities and so on. Different, like you've got the sheikhs and so on, then the Dawa guys. And he's saying the Dawa guys do this most. The Dawa guys are the ones who do this most. What's that?
Sorry. This clip is from a very long live stream, where after the live stream, Mohammed Hijab simply stabbed Daniel Hakikachi on the back. Just before this, they are talking about, they are responding an email from someone. Muslim is asking a question that he finds out that he's married. So he thinks he married this virgin, and then 2-3 years into marriage, he finds out, no, she wasn't virgin and she even had abortion, all those kind of things. So they are discussing how to respond to that lady. And Hijab is saying to the husband, go and get second wife, third wife. If I were you, I would do this, all those kind of things, like encouraging that individual to get more wives so that he can make her suffer and then just like ignore her. And then coming to this part where they are discussing why reverts are the one more kind of into it. Main reason is for that in England, it's been years back. So there was, during the Christmas time, Muslims do lots of kind of Dawa events. They bring this so-called ex-Christian. He shares his testimony, tells how as a Christian he was believing 3 gods, all those kind of things, and now he find the truth, all that. And then in that, so I went to one of these Dawa events, and then guy who was speaking, he said, go to churches, there are lots of single women, go and get them. So the way you take Christianity down is you go and then meet with these Christians and then you get them, in a sense like, oh, you are so wonderful, and then like those Christian women don't have anyone to get married, so they fall into you and then they marry you.